You saw it today. Maybe it was a cabinet hinge that groans just a little too loud, or a rattle under the dashboard that your whole family has quietly agreed to ignore. Everyone else walked past it. You didn't. Some part of your brain reached out, grabbed the detail, and refused to let go of it. That's not carefulness. That's not being detail-oriented, the way every resume claims to be. That's something more specific, and more interesting, than that. Here's what's actually going on. Your mind doesn't see a broken hinge or a rattling dashboard panel. It sees a system that used to run clean and now doesn't. And the space between how it's supposed to work and how it's actually working creates a kind of pressure. A pull. Most people don't feel that pull at all, or feel it so faintly they can ignore it for months. You can't. It just sits there, quietly running in the background, like an open tab you forgot to close. Your partner can step over the same leaking faucet for an entire season. You, on the other hand, have already pictured the inside of it, worn washer, maybe a cracked seal, wrong thread size, before you've even finished your coffee, and the wild part. You're not annoyed. You're almost lit up by it. Psychologists have a name for this drive: systemizing, the pull to analyze, decode, and understand the rules behind how something operates. Not only machines, either. Any system counts. An engine, sure, but also why the same handoff keeps collapsing at work, or why one specific step in an otherwise reliable recipe keeps sabotaging the whole dish. Underneath it, your brain is quietly running the same operation every time: input, output, cause, effect. And here's the part that gets missed constantly: the broken object was never really the point. The real payoff happens earlier, in the moment you're still turning the problem over, testing guesses, narrowing it down. Most people find that stretch of not knowing uncomfortable. You find it magnetic. That's not a small difference. That's two completely different relationships with uncertainty, and they build two very different lives. There's a documented trait for this too: need for cognition, the tendency to actually enjoy effortful thinking instead of avoiding it. People who score high on it consistently report more satisfaction from the working out than from the final answer itself. The figuring it out stage isn't a tax you pay to reach the reward. It already is the reward. The fix at the end is basically just the credits rolling. Then there's the research known as the IKEA effect: people who assemble or repair something with their own hands rate it as more valuable than an identical item they never touched. Most explanations stop at attachment. But look closer and it's really about authorship. Once your hands have been inside something, you can't cleanly separate yourself from it afterward. That beat-up car in the garage that isn't worth the money you'd put into it, according to literally everyone with an opinion, that's not sentiment. That's the residue of understanding. You've been inside its logic. Walking away from that is harder than it looks. Then there's the tolerance most people never build: complexity doesn't scare you off. For a huge number of people, the moment something looks complicated, the decision is already made: too long, too confusing, not for me. You go the opposite direction. Not recklessly, methodically. Because somewhere along the way you built trust in the process of figuring things out, more than trust in already having the answer walking in. That looks like confidence from the outside. It's actually evidence. Every repaired thing becomes a data point, proof that you've stared down something you didn't understand and walked out the other side having understood it. Psychologists call this mastery motivation, one of the most durable, self-fueled forms of drive on record. And the tell that it's real, the reward barely changes whether anyone's watching. Fix it alone in a silent garage, fix it with an audience, nearly identical satisfaction either way. The audience was never the assignment. The system working again was, which is also, no shade, why you will explain exactly what you fixed to somebody who never asked and has zero interest in the answer. Not for them. Saying it out loud is just how the loop closes for you, but here's the part worth sitting with. Machines are honest in a way people often aren't. A broken system will eventually tell you the truth if you look at it long enough. It has rules. It has a traceable logic. Test a theory, and it gives you a real answer back. people don't work that way. The cause is high. The fixes don't always hold. Sometimes you do everything right and still walk away without understanding what happened. The exact instinct that makes you brilliant with objects can misfire completely on relationships, because it eventually runs into a truth that's hard to accept: some things aren't broken. Some things don't have a root cause waiting to be found. They're just life, unsolved, on purpose, and still, this way of seeing the world deserves to be named for what it is. Not obsessive. Not something to laugh off. The fixer's whole worldview rests on one quiet belief: that there's a reason things are the way they are, that the reason is findable, and that once it's found, things can actually get better. That belief is rarer than people think. A lot of the world has quietly stopped believing it without even noticing the shift. You probably wouldn't call yourself an optimist. The label feels too soft for how practical you actually are. But what else do you call it, really, when you look at something broken and think, I can work with this? That's not decoration. That's evidence-based faith that things can run better than they currently do. So next time you catch yourself locking onto something no one else has even noticed is off, that pull toward understanding, toward seeing the pieces and picturing them whole again, don't brush past it. It's not a quirk sitting on top of who you are. It might be one of the clearest signals of who you actually are. If you saw yourself somewhere in this video, here's something worth asking. That same instinct you point at broken objects out there, does it ever get turned back on the systems running quietly inside your own daily life? The ones that stopped working a while ago and never got diagnosed. There's a link in the pinned comment to a set of guides built exactly around that: clearing mental backlog, resetting focus, actually fixing sleep instead of just knowing you should. Not more information to file away, a specific action per day. Go check it out, and if this kind of thing is your thing, subscribe, ring the bell, the next one's coming.